welcome back or welcome to my channel. I have decided that I wanted to do a little reading vlog. I don't think I'm going to actually include any photos of my actual holiday because I'm just not comfortable filming in public, and plus there's a lot of people here and there's a lot of people's children here and I'm just not filming it, I'm not going to do it. But I wanted to start this vlog off with the fact that I've just finished Slaughterhouse 5 by Kurt. Again, Vonnegut, I think is how you pronounce it. I really should look it up, I keep on forgetting. But it was incredible. It definitely a 5-star read. I loved every aspect of it to the point where I don't really even want to talk about it because it's hard to talk about the events of the book anyways, but they all feel like a spoiler, and I feel like you should just kind of go in maybe a little bit blind. Like, knowing about it is a good idea because there are some trigger warnings. It is, well, let's start off. It's mainly about a man called Billy Pilgrim who is a World War II veteran, and he's not experiencing time correctly. So the entire story is him recounting his time in Dresden after it was, well, during its bombing and afterwards as well. So he talks about how he got there, what happened while he was there, and a little bit about what happened afterwards in Dresden. But so that's kind of like the main timeline of what's happening. But he'll be experiencing one thing. So he'll be like in a forest with a group of soldiers, and then all of a sudden he'll jump 10 years in time and start explaining a different event. And sometimes they're not related at all, sometimes they are. Like, he would jump between his time experiencing incredibly traumatic things and then in a veterans hospital that he was in after he got committed for something. And it's just, I don't know, it's so good. It's just it's absolutely like the sort of way of writing that I love, in that it's very simple but very effective. Like, I love flowery language every now and then, I think we all do, but sometimes you just want something that's like very hard hitting and very simple and very to the point. And it was incredibly short as well, which I think benefited it massively. I think it could have really overstayed its welcome. But yeah, it feels like a war story written by someone who understood the war. It feels like it's like the writing of someone who experienced it and became anti-war because of it. Like, it is very much an anti-war book. It doesn't glamorize anything. It doesn't, because it didn't feel the need to glamorize anything. It's not trying to convince anyone to go fight because it's onerous or anything like that. If anything, it's kind of saying the opposite, the fact that we all just forget about veterans, or don't believe them when they say that they fought in something if they are currently appearing weak, which is something that happens to him. And it's just, I don't know, it's very impactful, and I would 100% recommend it. So 10 out of 10, this is a good start to the week, actually, and a good start to my summer readings, because this is, if you watched my previous video, this is one of the books on TBR list, and it is the first book I read out of all of those on my TBR. Yeah, so I will update you all when I have started reading or when I've read something else. I'm planning on getting around to A House of Leaves, which I've brought with me just to kind of like head down, no real distractions, read that book, because it's something that I've wanted to read for so long, but that I haven't really been in the mood for. But a different form, like a different thing that I was listening to entirely sparked my interest in it again. So I'm going to try and get round to it now that I am in the mood to read something like it, and now that I almost have, a week solid to just read it, to do nothing but read A House of Leaves. So I am very much looking forward to that, and I will probably update you some point tomorrow when I have. Hello again. I have just got back in from outside, so if I'm a little shiny, that will be why. It's very hot here. But I've just come in to update and say that I have not read really any of The House of Leaves. It's actually been a couple of days since I filmed that last, but yeah, it's just not clicking. And if you've read House of Leaves, I think you know that you have to be in the mindset to read it. And it's a little annoying because I thought I'd finish it this holiday. I don't think I'm going to. And yeah, like I said, it's annoying. And I don't know why it's annoying because obviously you read for fun. And if you're not enjoying something, then you should, you know, you can put it down and come back to it. But I think I expect to love A House of Leaves. And I think that's like where my frustration has come from is that I'm not totally loving it. And I think it's just one of those things where you put massive expectations onto a book and then it turns out to just be a book, and that's okay. And I'm still gonna continue to try and read A House of Leaves because I do think that if I can get past the 100-page mark, then I'm gonna love it. But yeah, it's just a little frustrating. So instead, I've been reading A Natural History of Dragons, um, and I'm enjoying that. It's a lot more, you know, easy to read and quite fast paced. It's about a woman's journey into kind of helping pioneer the study of dragons in her world, and you follow her as a little girl and how she struggled to fit into the expectations at the time. And then I assume it's going to get more into her studying dragons because at the moment it's very much her, you know, having this interest as a very small child and it not being encouraged really by her mother who wants her to fit in, and her father is trying to, you know, encourage the interest but not get her further into trouble. And I'm really, really enjoying it so far, and hopefully I will possibly not get that read. I think it's about a 400-page book. I think it's fairly long. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and I'm just going to take my time reading it. I have finished, though, The Demon Lover by Shirley Jackson. It was a short story collection. I haven't finished the other short stories, but I've read the title one, The Demon Lover, and I really enjoyed that. It was Shirley Jackson does like quite quiet horror, is what I think of it as, because the short story is just a woman looking for her husband on her wedding day, but it does kind of call into question, like, was this man actually her husband? Like, did he exist? Because other people like see him on that day as she's going out to look for him and to almost retrace his steps to find out where he is. But everyone interacts with her strangely. Like, policemen laugh her off, a florist, what they called, a florist, I think it's what it's called, treats her really weirdly, and everyone just interacts with her in a way that's really odd and really off-putting. So the horror almost comes from that, where it's like this woman is desperately trying to get help. Yeah, her life's not in danger, but she's desperately trying to get help, and just no one will help her, and everyone's kind of dismissing her. And it's, I don't know, I love that sort. Well, I don't love women being in danger, obviously, but I love that sort of horror of you desperately trying to seek help and no one believing you and no one wanting to help you. And I do believe it's a horror that women write very, very well for obvious reasons. But I read Rosemary's Baby not too long ago, and that was done really, really well as well. And obviously, that was written by a man. But that was another example of kind of the horror coming from something happening to this woman and everyone, even people in authority, just not really believing her and or not taking her worries seriously enough. So yeah, that's what I've been reading over the past couple of days. I've still got a few days left of my holiday, and I'm really enjoying it so far. It's been lovely. But I've still got a few days left, and I read quite a lot on the plane as well. So can't wait to see what I finish. I've also brought Giovanni's Room. So I bought like 5 books with me just in, you know, in case they all struck my fancy. 3 of them are fairly short. But I've got Giovanni's Room with me, but I've been told that that has the possibility to either really put me in a bad mood or make me cry, and I don't really feel like doing either. So that might be a read for another time, but I'll see if I get around to it. So yeah, I might update you tomorrow. I might not. I might update you in a couple of days, but I'll see you when I see you. Hello, so I am back from my holiday, and I would just thought that I would end this vlog with a quick recap of what I read, what I didn't read, what I want to get around to reading. So, for starters, I finished Slaughterhouse 5 by Kurt Vonnegut, um, which I think is probably going to be one of my favourite reads this year. I loved the way that it was written, I loved the themes, I loved just everything about it. I really liked the character Billy Pilgrim. There was like something about him. Like there wasn't much to him. Um, in terms of I don't really know how to describe what I'm saying. Like the only way I can really describe it is read the book and you'll see what I mean. But he felt very much like a blank slate, even though he was having all of these experiences. He still always kind of came out as a self-insert, which he was supposed to. So it felt very intentional that there almost wasn't a lot to him. Just there was very mixed messages coming from everyone about who he actually was. I don't know. I really enjoyed the way that this was written and like the style and that it was an author, obviously Kurt Vonnegut, writing about someone writing about his experiences. And I don't know. I thought that was very interesting. I haven't read a lot of books like that before. So I loved it. Yeah, absolutely 5 stars. The next book next, I guess, collection of short stories that I finished. I actually finished this collection of short stories when I got back home, but it's The Demon Lover by Shirley Jackson. I didn't 100% love all of these short stories. I think there were, let me see, how many are there? There are 7 short stories, and I'd say I loved probably most of them. I tend to like short stories around 20 pages. I don't really like them when they're, you know, under 10 or even like 5. It's not enough for me to like get into, I guess. But Shirley Jackson does almost the horror around not being believed very well. And it's kind of, she's never going to outright terrify you or make you afraid of the dark in a way that a lot of horror authors can do. But she definitely makes you feel uncomfortable. And it's kind of not really knowing why. It's just this very deep sense that something is wrong. Like in The Demon Lover, uh, the main character's husband just disappears. Um, and his name is Jamie, and he actually shows up in a different short story as well. But he's this very mysterious man, and he never really does anything wrong. He never says anything wrong, but there is just something so off about him and so off putting that it immediately puts your back up. And it's very cleverly, I think she's very cleverly written the character like that. And that's just like the sort of horror that she invokes. And that's the sort of horror that I truly love. I love being made deeply uncomfortable by a book, um, whether that's outright or whether it's, very subtly, which is, I don't know. I guess that's why I love the gothic genre so much, is there's just, I don't know, it's hard to describe the horror without actually experiencing it. And I don't know, there's something about that, there's something very private about that horror, which I really, really love. Uh, However, I didn't finish, unfortunately, A Natural History of Dragons by Marie Brennan. I will get around to it though. I've got a deadline to read it by. I've got to read it by late August because my partner wants it back to read, which is fair enough. So, to be honest, I'm very, very good with deadlines. It's kind of why I've started this YouTube video. Not video, sorry, this YouTube like channel in general. Like, I want to read books by a certain deadline. So, if I have a video idea and then I'm like, well, I have to read the books because I want the video up and I can't get the video up until I read the books. I don't know, it's just this sort of like almost like goal that I've put on myself. But I am going to read A Natural History of Dragons. I did enjoy it. I got about 50 pages in, I think. Yeah, 50 pages. I really love Lady Trent, the main character. There's kind of, I don't know, she's not a bitter old woman, because I think that's a cruel way to put it, but she's very to the point and prim and I don't know, just older in a way that's like I love in a character. I love the character of like Miss Marple and things like that. There's just these women that are like very no nonsense, have seen it all, and are just like, yeah, whatever. I'm gonna say it how it is, and I'm gonna get away with it because I'm an old woman. And you know, bar like certain exceptions, obviously I've seen women do that and get away with saying some absolutely horrific things. Obviously, that's not included in this, but like I love kind of just old women that are just saying whatever they want to say because they don't care anymore. I for one love that and support that. And the final thing that I kind of stupidly thought I was going to get around to, as well as these other books on my holiday reading, was A House of Leaves. It's very big and it's heavy. By Mark Z. I looked up how to say his name. I think it's Danielski or something very similar. Sorry, I did look up how to pronounce it. I've just forgotten. Um, I read about 2 pages of this. It is a beast. It is something that I want to get around to eventually, and that I will get around to eventually. I just need to take my time with it and not put so much pressure on myself to read it. I think it's just something that I need to keep in a bag or something like that. The issue is it's the size of a textbook. Like I read after work in my car a lot of the time, and that's actually where I do a majority of my reading. I read, you know, like if I've got a spare half an hour, I will read then, or if I'm waiting for a train or something like that, I read then. Um, and the issue is this book is the size of my head. So it's really difficult to carry around and things like that. But I will get around to it eventually. I do want to. Again, it's the sort of horror that I think I'm really going to enjoy. And everyone that's actually taken the time to sit through and read it has loved it. And I just wish it was a little easier to read. I've got dyslexia and ADHD, it's difficult for me to read, but I'm sure I will enjoy it at the end of the day when I do eventually finish it. Just popping in to say, I forgot to mention that I started the audiobook of Lost Souls by Poppy Z Bright. Just because I think a YouTuber I like recommended it. So I've started it. It's about vampires. I'm loving it a lot at the moment. It's the type of queer literature that I like, which everyone is gay and a bad person. So yeah, I'm really enjoying that one so far, and I'll tell you all about it when I finish it. So that was everything that I read on my holiday. I actually didn't plan to do a reading vlog this holiday. I never actually planned to do reading vlogs at all, but I got lots of nice little videos and I wanted to put them somewhere. And I wanted to talk to someone about the books that I read. And my family's not very interested in books in general, let alone talking about books. So I thought I would just sit and talk at my phone because it's fun and I enjoy doing it. So those are all the books I read. This last part isn't scripted, which is why I'm umming and repeating myself constantly, but hopefully that's all right. So, yeah, I hope that you have a lovely evening, day, morning, whatever, and I will see you in the next video. Perfect little helper. There she is. So, no? Okay.